All right, welcome back, everybody. It's episode 3 of Trimming the Fat. And my two co-hosts here have been absolutely crushing it on their weight loss journeys. And so this week, we're going to talk about what's new and easy. I know that when I came across my journey, a whole host of things all of a sudden became easy, from getting up to getting dressed to moving around. So I'll let you guys jump in and talk about your recent wins and what's become new and easy.
Well, I can start off with an embarrassing story if that works.
That works too.
Well, this
Please.
morning I was working out and one of my daughters was down there and I took a carabiner and put it in my pocket because I use that for my attachments and stuff. And I went to do an overhead lat pull down. Well, when I reached up to the lat pull down, that carabiner was just enough. It dropped my pants down to my knees. My daughter looks up at me and is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, trying to work out.
Whoops.
That's awesome, man. Though, like, I mean, you've lost so much weight, your pants are literally falling off.
They are, and that's gonna be a problem. That's one thing I like and I really hate about this stage is because I've done it before. I drop enough that I don't want to go buy new pants because I have a few pant sizes to lose. So I'll go from they can barely fit to okay, they fit, yay, and then all of a sudden I'm trying to get suspenders or whatever else to hold them up, and they're all floating around.
I was gonna recommend suspenders. That's what I do.
Yeah,
Buying a new pair of pants every couple months.
Yeah, so for me, I used to do that, but I always fall back into my bad ways. But I always knew I had those clothes in the closet. Like, okay, well, if it ever happens again, whatever. So this last time I went down, like I can wear a 40 now. Now I do wear them below my belly. That's just how I always wore my jeans. But when I got from, a 50 to a 46 to a 44, and then at that point when I was at 44, 42s, I went and got rid of everything. I purged my entire wardrobe, so to say. I took all my clothes. I literally had the whole back of my SUV in trash bags of clothes, my fat clothes. And I'm like, never again. This is my commitment to me in this process, that I got rid of all those clothes. Now I did spend a lot of money buying new clothes and like hoping and praying that I didn't get fat again. But that was my thing. Like, this time I'm doing this the right way. I do wish I would have kept one pair of my fattest pants though, so I could do that like whole slim fast or whatever before and after Jenny Craig style. But for me, it was I used to have to wear dress clothes every day, and it got to the point where I looked like a slob because nothing fit right. So it was a huge like freeing or emancipating moment for me. So
I have one goal with my fat clothes. I've always wanted a heavy bag, have for years and years. So I just bought one. It takes them like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get it here. So I just ordered it unstuffed. So all my fat clothes are getting shredded and shoved in the heavy bag. So I have them and I can just beat the living crap out of them every day.
That's awesome, man. You are totally going for that psychological aspect of this. I love it.
You got to start somewhere.
I'm thinking about doing a supersized quilt. Just cut it all up, have a 25-foot long quilt. All my fat clothes.
Or you could do is like
clothes.
If you had enough clothes, you could like do a stuffed version of yourself and like this is how I used to be, like the fat scarecrow.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, bringing it out on Halloween.
Yeah.
So for me, on the clothes aspect, I have a problem when it comes to, since I've been losing weight, I go into Kohl's and stuff's starting to fit me, and it's like, oh man, I could use that new jacket. Oh man, those Nike sweatpants look pretty awesome, So I try to control myself because I've got a long way to go yet, and I don't want to buy new clothes just to get rid of it in 2 months. So yeah. I shop at the Walmart and stuff and gradually move into the nice stuff that I really want.
Yeah. Well, from us down here, I'm not sure if you guys have one nearby, but there's a men's big and tall store called Destination XL or DXL. Right. It used to be something
just
big.
Closed.
Oh, that's horrible, man. I'd go in there because that's literally the only place I could buy anything that used to fit me. And now I go back there because I like their shirts, like their button down shirts still fit me really well because they're tailored to a bigger guy. But I walk in there and then I get like really shitty looks from the other dudes in there because I'm the smallest guy in there a lot of times now, which is, it's great for me. But But Luke, to your point, I mean, like when all of a sudden I realized I can shop anywhere now. I can buy clothes off the rack,
Yep.
and I mean, still I'm in the 2X, for shirts, but I blame my beautiful broad shoulders. But that's never going to change. That's right, Corey. Flex it up, son.
And that's
But
what I worked today with shoulders and back.
there you go. But that was the biggest thing for me. It's like, oh man, I can like actually go to a store and shop, but then I actually hate going to stores and shopping. but
Yeah.
But what you're saying, Luke, I mean, I see the same thing. And now I'm at the point for the first time in my life, I get cold. I mean, now don't get me wrong, like this past week in Texas has been an absolute shit show with it being literally, we had a 70 plus degree swing in 5 days. It was 72 today and sunny, and it was 0 degrees, the other day. But prior to that, I mean, like even being fall or spring, like I never got cold ever. I was the t-shirt and shorts guy in the middle of winter. But now I get cold, so I'm like kind of getting this addiction to hoodies. So I have to slow down there.
So, Luke, anything new and good for you, or easier? Or...
Yeah, what's easy?
So I did notice I've got a green screen, right? And I bought PVC pipe, put it together, and that's what's holding it up, so you can't see the stuff behind it. And I was blowing in one of the tubes, making like a trumpet sound, and I noticed how long I could actually blow into it without having to gas for air. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like I told my wife, I was like, hey, it's getting better. Like I can actually breathe. So that was pretty cool. That was like 2 days ago.
And once you get on that CPAP, man, once you get on CPAP too, that's going to change a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know I get on your ass about it, but I mean, trust me, it's like all of a sudden you'll be annoyingly energetically I am now. So.
Yeah. My wife just told me today how annoying I am at this particular juncture because, I'm able to do a little bit more, and I have all these goals where I want to make sure that I set myself up for success. So I'm putting everything in line that I have no excuse to do it. So I want, my workout area a certain way, my food program a certain way. I want all this stuff, to where I have absolutely no excuse whatsoever in the world other than I can only be my own stumbling block. And she's like, you're just extra.
Well, now, Corey, how much have you lost this time?
Well, total for my heaviest point, I would have lost 80 pounds. Since December, I've lost a little over 60 pounds now.
So you've lost 15% of your body weight.
Sure. I don't know.
Like 12% of your body weight.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. And what about you, Luke? Where are you at?
That picture that you shared the other day, like you could really see the difference. Yeah.
And that picture was just from the 1st of January. So that was just a 40-pound loss.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, one thing that I've done in the past, whenever I'd kind of start beating myself up about the weight loss or I wasn't like where I wanted to be, I would go to like either a fitness store or like the hardware store, right? I'd find something that has the equivalent weight of how much I've lost. So when it was just 40 pounds, right? I'd go find like a 40-pound bucket or something and pick it up and be like, I used to walk around with this at all times. And now for me, since, again, it's 80 pounds was for me, that's literally 2 of my 4-year-old sons. So if when I pick them up and I have them on me, or if I'm giving them like a shoulder ride, I think about like, okay, if I had 2 of him on me right now, that's how I used to walk around all the time. And it's like, well, no wonder everything hurt. But on the flip of it, where you guys are at, I mean, that's when I was on my path, man, that was the best time. It's like, okay, it's like you're halfway there. It's with my doctor, after I hit 50 pounds, she made me take a 3-month pause. So I had to maintain weight for a while. So then I wouldn't rebound, or, I forgot how she put it medically, but she said that after you lose 50 pounds, you should just pause for like 3 months and maintain that weight to let the rest of your body catch up. The body functions the way your brain works and everything else. Because if you still keep pushing hard, because I was like, this is dumb, I want to keep going. She's like, just trust me. You've seen Biggest Loser, like afterwards, how everyone gains all the weight back plus 15, 20%. And I think, Corey, you've done that as well. But for me, that was kind of eye opening. I started doing the research about it. Okay, all your systems, whether it's your digestive or your heart or everything has to catch up, and having those 3 or 4 months to do that's huge. And I think that's what's helped me in the long term keep all the weight off, because I did take that pause. But I mean, it's something to chew on. But
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean,
Yep.
it's true to the fact that your body has to respond where you're at and what's going on. I mean, it's overtraining is a real thing, and over pushing is a real thing. And I think sometimes you do need to take a break just to keep from, you know, I can't phrase it how I want to, but yeah, sometimes it's really needed to be able to just kind of level off a little bit and be happy where you're at and refocus,
right.
I guess.
But she said from because she's an obesity, non-surgical weight loss doctor. She was saying like especially with the two of you are at, I mean, it might be good to take a 3-month pause, like maintain this weight for 3 months, get used to that weight, get comfortable with it, and then get back after it, just so you don't have that, that relapse, more or less, right? That where your body gets into, I'm not sure if it's survival mode, where all of a sudden it just starts storing everything as fat, because it freaks out because you've lost too much. It's like, you're been putting like under so much duress under a short period of time, where your body malfunctions, and then it doesn't matter how clean you eat, you just start packing on the weight. And I think that's where, when I used to go hardcore and then I'd crash, basically fat or crash diet, and then I'd fall off the wagon, and it all that weight would come on like overnight.
Yeah.
Well, I think also, I know from a heart condition is one thing to look out for, is because as you're losing weight, you want to become more active. Your heart, even no matter how clean you are, because I'm super focused on clean eating and everything, your heart still requires a certain amount of time to heal. Even if you go 100% the best diet you possibly can, the plaque does not clear out of those arteries overnight. The
Right.
things don't happen. So it's one of those things where you can overdo it and give yourself a heart attack or heart failure just from going, man, I feel great. Sure, you may, you're lighter, things are going, but you got to still be wise about it, that, just because I feel like all of a sudden I can do, a 5-mile marathon doesn't mean you should. You may want to give it a little bit of time.
Yeah. And that's another reason you should be drinking like the gallon of water a day too, flush everything out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I did an episode the other day on it. A lot of people don't realize that your fat stores toxins. That's where a
Yep.
lot of toxins are stored at. And as you're losing this fat, as your body's breaking it down and getting rid of it, if you get into, a fat burning stage or whatever, you can get sick out of nowhere. And people don't realize all of a sudden, oh man, I feel like shit, I'm sick. And, it could possibly be from that cluster of fat that you just broke down, had some nasty stuff stored up in there that had to break down. So doing it too much can throw some, toxicity into your system that you're not prepared for.
That's one thing I've definitely noticed, that since, go ahead, Luke.
Well, on that, there's a young lady that I'm about to interview on my podcast next week, and she actually told me a story of one of her family members lost. The doctor said you need to lose this much weight. She ended up losing too much too fast, and she passed away from it, from the toxins, and she was poisoned from it. So it's insane.
That happened to like my cousin's girlfriend's mom. She had weight loss surgery back in the day, probably 10, 15 years ago, and she lost 100 pounds really fast. And the same thing happened to her. Like, what happened? And it was like some kind of toxic blood, something because of that. It's nuts. It really is. I mean, and that's one thing that I think that with weight loss surgery, it's great that people are kind of like slowing down on just giving it out to anyone, because it seems like you could just go through a drive-through and get a lap band surgery, and all it does is change, the amount of crap you can shovel in. Whereas before, you have to go through like months of like, psychotherapy. You have to go see a psychiatrist. You have to see a nutritionist. You have to prove that you've done it and you're doing the work before you get the surgery, because I've seen plenty of people like beat the band, right? I mean, I've seen so many people do that. It's insane. But
Yep.
one thing I was going to touch on that you guys, after the weight loss and that release, for me now, okay, when I was bigger, I would get like really sick at least once, if not twice a year. Like I'd be out for 2 or 3 days sick. But now since I'm on the other side of it, I knock on wood. I mean, that really doesn't happen that much. I might catch a little something here and there, but then it's gone quickly. So
Yeah.
sorry if there's a
Dad
crying
ears
baby in the
perking up.
background.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, is that you, Adam?
Yeah, that's my daughter. She apparently is not happy with something, but
Somebody's getting pinched.
oh man, it's funny because when she was real little, like she was all about me, right? And she's only 9 months old, 9.5 months. But in the past, like I'd say month or so, like if I'm holding her and my wife, like she catches it out of the corner of her eye, she's like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, I'm chopped liver. It's cool. No big deal.
Yeah, I'm nobody now.
Yeah, exactly. Which is me and my son. He'd be like, hey, let's go watch Blaze and the Monster Machines. I'm like, cool.
Yep, absolutely. Back to topic a little bit, since
Right.
I'm always bringing it back around.
Yep.
It's amazing how much easier, like putting a seatbelt on can happen, and how much easier just general moving or just that alertness comes into focus that most people forget. I don't know about you guys, but have either of you, after you started losing weight, just all of a sudden been like, oh, hey, where's that foggy haze that I've been in gone to?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
Well, that and like I'm not falling asleep all the time. I mean, even with the CPAP, like it'd be like, when I was bigger, I'd go eat a big lunch at 2 o'clock. I'd be, hitting my head. I mean, there's times I shut my office door. Yeah. I mean, I would literally schedule a meeting, shut my door, and take a little nap in my office at my last job. Yeah, the lethargic, it's just not good, man. I mean, I do miss it sometimes in the sense where like I like the naps. I fell back in love with naps, but I don't miss like having that labored breathing and just feeling like crap because I knew I just ate basically a day's worth of calories in one meal.
Yep.
Right.
With that, to touch on another thing for me, I'm just trying to think of different things that I've been doing that I've noticed a difference, because during the day you don't really notice a lot of them, but I think we might have talked about this before with those small things that make a difference. And when I used to put socks on, I'd have to, and then go down and,
Yeah.
fight to put it on and get up before I pass out, so I don't have to do that anymore. I can just bend over, put a sock on, and
That's
that's a win.
huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
One thing I used to always do is I put my arms into the body of my t-shirt and stretch it out. And then I put it on the floor and I stand on it and stretch it out. Because at the time I was pushing the boundaries of a 3X. I should probably been a 4, if not a 5, right? But I was like, nope, I will not buy anything past a 3X. I mean, I was literally, I would get them like wet, stretch them out, and then put them on a dry rack, and then maybe air fluff them real quick so they didn't look like crap. Or I iron the shirts and stuff like that, just t-shirts, right? So I didn't have to do it, or my gut didn't hang out of the bottom of it. But
Right.
yeah, the bending over to tie your shoes or put socks on, like I was looking, there's stuff online where you can like put your sock in a machine, like, and shove your foot into it and it gets done for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And on that note too, I also don't miss those huge lines I used to get from socks. And I'm a thick guy, like all the three of us are. I mean, we're all big guys, no matter if we're super in shape or not. And it's always hard for me to find socks that don't cut off my circulation. But when you're bigger, you have that sock indentation for like 2 hours afterwards. It's not cool.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a big thing that that's now that you say it, I've noticed it here in the past, 3 weeks, a month or whatever, that indentation isn't as drastic where, I take it off and it looks like, oh my God. It was getting for a while. I have to wear boots at work. But I've always worn my boots and stuff tight, like super tight. So when I put them on in the morning, it's great. But the difference when I take them off at night, my ankle where my boot is maybe that big, but right above it is this big old, thing. It looks like something freaky's going on there.
Yeah. And I'm not sure about y'all, but like for me, because I was very much in the pre-diabetic category. My legs would get, you know, that I guess that diabetic redness, right? In the bottoms of it, and it'd be like kind of splotchy. I'd be like, oh no, I just got freckles. I see these weird freckles down there. It's all good. Don't worry about me.
This whole big brown patch on the middle of the front of my shin.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing. Don't worry about that. Keep looking.
I'll never forget this. And of course, yeah, we wear shorts a lot more here than y'all do. But my wife and I were at my favorite barbecue place, and we're walking up, and she goes, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "What? What happened? You know, what's going on? You know, is it our kid?" She's like, "You have ankles." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You have ankles. I've never seen you with ankles before." I'm like, "No, I've always had ankles. You know, they're just, I guess, a little more insulated."
Right.
You know? It's little things like that, or like for me, like hats started getting big. Like I've always had a big head, right? I wear like a 7 3/4 hat, but like hats were getting big. My shoes started getting big. Like I usually wear like a 12.4E. I have a big wide flat foot, but like I'm not sure if I lost an E on that or what happened, but like all of a sudden weird things like that I started noticing. Like I used to slide around in my shoes, or you know, things are just fitting differently, or just it would ride differently as far as where your pants sit or your shirts sit, you know.
Right. It's always interesting, or always interested me, where you lose weight from, because a lot of people always want to target, I want to lose this. You know, you have absolutely no control where the weight comes off at. I'll notice things like in my hand or in my forearm and be like, oh, hey, there's like a muscle groove there thing or something like that. You know, it's nowhere. It's like, hey, you can't get rid of this, but hey, the forearm's looking pretty good.
Well, that could be from other reasons though too.
Well, right.
My wedding ring, it fits again.
That's awesome.
That was one thing I was really excited about.
Thank you, Luke,
in my hand and my face.
And Luke saves the day from the embarrassing conversation of buff forearms.
Well, that is very true. One thing I was going to say is when I first started for my own accountability, I said take a picture every Friday morning of me on the scale, right? And it was my feet in the scale. And someone pointed out, one of my friends is like, dude, your feet have gotten like jacked. I'm like, what? And then I looked and I was like, okay, my feet are like super vascular now. Like you can see the veins in my feet. Before they were just big, like fat Flintstone feet. And now they're like, okay, I can see what they meant by they look jacked because you can see the veins in them and you know, I guess they're toned. But you know, it's weird stuff, man. It's you truly lose fat from everywhere. But Corey, like you said, people try to focus on those areas and you can't. You just need to focus on being healthier and eating better. And you know, it's all based on diet. I mean, and what 10% exercise, whatever it may be. But
right,
it's a really amazing those places you start losing weight and you don't notice it until one day. It's just something weird happens. You're like, huh. Or like those places in your garage, you go, I can fit through that place now, right? Or you know, going through things like today. We had an open house for our house, and I took my family out to where we want to live. Went to this little cafe, and my son had pulled the table in the booth really close to him so he could eat. And then he got up to let me in. And first off, I never get in the inside of booths ever because I'm super claustrophobic from being so big. I hate booths in general. I'm a table guy, and if I'm in a booth, I always have to sit on the outside of it. But he was actually eating, so I'm like, whatever, dude, I'll slide on through. But not only did I slide through that tiny little area, for the first time since I can remember, I didn't feel super claustrophobic in a booth, which was really astounding to the point where it almost freaked me out. So
that's awesome.
I could see that. Yeah, I mean, I've always hated booths as well. That's nope.
I mean, at my biggest, man, I got trapped in a booth once, man. I started literally freaking out. I'm sweating. I mean, I could feel like sweat just drip down my back. I was getting claustrophobic. The anxiety was going up. I mean, I stopped hearing music and I could just hear just the pulse in my head. It wasn't fun at all. I mean, but it's nuts. It's something I've never talked about before. My wife just knew. She knows I like having my back to the restaurant so I could see everything because it's all, I guess, ingrained mafia style. You want to make sure no one's coming in the door to protect everyone. But she
The
also
same
knows
way.
that, yeah, she also knows that that's where I want to sit, and I need to be on the outside of the booth. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So you're saying when we all three go out to a place, we're gonna have to find a table that sits 3 wide, all facing towards the door.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
As
Okay.
long as it's not a picnic table, because we'll flip that bad boy over.
In a second.
No heartbeat. No heartbeat. And then I'll have to get some new glasses. I can't wear my lookalikes.
Where is
Yeah,
Luke's
and
glasses? I was waiting to check those out.
I don't like the glare that I get
Right.
from
Gotcha.
it. So I don't like.
Just to give
Y'all
you
look
guys
fuzzy. But
so for anyone that's listening, I went to the eye doctor yesterday, and as I've lost weight, my vision has gotten much better, but my left eye has now flipped from being barely nearsighted to being farsighted, even though my right eye is still nearsighted. Yeah. And I decided I want to get new glasses, but I've always worn like black rectangular glasses, and Luke has some really nice glasses. So I asked him where he got his, and it was kind of an awkward conversation because I guess big guys don't take compliments well. So I ended up actually ordering the same glasses as him because I do like their style. And then I found some that are similar to the size I currently wear. So I promise not to wear them at the same time.
It's all right.
Imitation is best form of flattery.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I'll take it. So back on the topic where you were talking about fitting in places, and having this conversation is great because I'm actually realizing what's going on. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. Well, in our bathroom, when my wife's doing her makeup or whatever, she used to have to stop and like scooch up to the counter or walk away or walk out and then let me in. Now I can walk past her. I just realized that I don't like slam her into the mirror or anything anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely been there before, man. That's awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, and
good.
like for me, with going back to the clothes piece, I mean, I did hold on to this pair of jeans I loved when I first met my wife. I guess I was decently fit then, and then I had this one pair of jeans. I bought 5 pairs of the same jeans. I kept 2 of them, and then about a month ago, my wife's like, "Yeah, you look like you're wearing pajamas or sweatpants. You need to buy some new jeans." I was like, "I thought these fit really good." She's like, "They look like crap on you, man. They're huge." But it's one of those things that I think that, I mean, with Corey, like with the pictures you posted the other day, I mean, it's a dramatic difference. The same with your pictures, Luke. I mean, like, and what's crazy for me is that you don't realize that all of a sudden you look like shit. You look like a slob because these are the clothes that you felt comfortable in that may have been tight, like, a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And now it's huge, but it's that negative self-image, right? That the body dysmorphia, whatever it's called, that you still see that fat version of yourself, even though that stuff's like literally falling off you.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And I get in that thing of I like nice clothes, but I don't like spending money.
Oh man, I hate spending money on stuff that I need. I like
Especially-
spending money on stuff that I don't need, like toys and stuff. But
Right.
if I need it, I'm like, man, that sucks.
I think my biggest take up is, the only time I'm one size or generally a size is when I'm heavy. When I lose weight, I lose, really well because I know how to lose weight. I'm good at it. Which sounds stupid from a fat guy, but when I get down to a certain spot, get down to like a 2X, getting ready to get in an XL. Next thing I know, I'm buying a 3XL shirt or picking up the 4XL shirt that I used to have or something. And it's one of those things that, yeah, clothes in me, I've always had a struggle with ever since a kid because I was the fat kid. So going shopping, I remember it not being too awful long, that I couldn't go to our local, way before Walmart's even came around, I couldn't go to our local department store and pick up anything that fit me. It was like I might find one shirt or one jacket or one thing, and that's all they had to fit me. That, it was that, or I was going into, even the men's section, nothing would
Yeah.
fit because I was that big.
Did you guys ever shop at, obviously I've always grown up in cities, but I think it was Sears had the Husky Boys section.
Mhm.
and it was the Tough Skins. I think it was the brand of
Yeah.
jeans that was made for tubby little bastards like me. Um, but yeah, your mom always made you feel sweet about it. It's like, oh, they have a special little section just for you.
H for
Yep, trying to
handsome,
highlight it.
husky.
Yeah, I mean, but now it's cool because if you're husky, they have jeans that are like stovepipe fit. It's like, okay,
Right.
it's just men's husky. I'm down with it. I'm 100% down with it. And now I forget what Levi's I wear, but they're basically a big men's cut and they have a little stretch to them, but they're still Levi's and I can still
Oh
buy them.
man, that's a game changer. Those stretchy britches. I
Yeah,
love
but
them.
but they don't look like like fat guy jeggings or skinny jeans, right? They're actually a decent
Right.
cut. They just have like a little bit of whatever in them, and I forget which one it is, but I found them on that at DXL, and now that I don't have to shop there anymore, I mean, I can find the normal sizes through Levi's or the Levi's outlet, which is great. But man, they are the best thing ever because you can actually move in them. You can
Yeah.
sit
Right.
down and squat in them.
Yeah, Wrangler has a pair that I found at a local farm store for a while that, yeah, that little bit of stretchiness is real nice.
Dude. Oh
Yeah.
man, if you're going to
Comfortable,
farm
too.
stores, I need you to get me like an old school like farm store like trucker hat with the red and white, feedlot
Oh, well,
logo
that's
on
our
it.
normal hats around here. We're out in Podunk country over here.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like here, it's like you have to like special order that stuff or actually go somewhere that has it.
Mm. Yeah, I can get you hooked up on something like that.
Nice.
Still has the plastic clip back. I mean, it doesn't. They aren't
Perfect.
fitted.
As long as it'll fit my huge head.
Oh yeah. It's used to fitting us Midwest guys. We all have.
Husky.
Yeah.
Husky guys. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, one thing I wanted to bring up real quick. You were talking about how you're good at losing weight, and it's weird for fat people to say that, but I say the same thing. It on the topic of being easy. For me, it's easy to lose the weight. Like you know what you're doing. You eat less, you move more. And I can get down. I've lost 360 plus pounds in the past 7 years, but I've gained it all back. Right. So it's keeping it off that's super hard for me. Like I can lose it. I can't keep it off.
Right.
And that's where Adam was talking about like therapy and stuff. Like I fully agree, or it might have been you that said it. The people that have the weight loss surgery or anybody in general losing the weight that is morbidly obese should see some kind of therapist to get your head right, because I mean, I see a therapist and it's a game changer. And with the Overeaters Anonymous, like learning about what goes into it in my mind, it's not just a health change. It's like a food change. It's a complete change, your mind, body, everything.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you have to have a full grasp of everything that's going on, not just, physically. You have to have all aspects of weight loss to be successful at it. Your mind has to be in the right place as well. And I know my fault is, I get to a certain point and I'm comfortable, I'm happy. And I've always been exceptionally athletic for a fat guy. I've been that guy of like, man,
Same.
he's fast for a fat guy. When I was in high school, I was weighing 275 pounds my freshman year, and I could go through kicking the tops of the doorways, literally toe to toe.
Wow.
I'm only 5'6". I was always athletic. So I get down to a certain weight and I can do a lot of things and I get comfortable and I get happy. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to indulge. I'm going to have, and
Yep.
me and my wife
Let's
can
celebrate.
cook. Yeah, absolutely. But we celebrate every night with, steak and, burgers that are literally to die for, that will kill you.
Yeah,
But
definitely. So it says we got about 3 minutes before we get kicked off. So
yep, absolutely. You got anything else to add, Adam?
we can.
Nope. Sorry about the little interruption there. Tonight is pizza and movie night, so we're definitely doing a keto cauliflower pizza. Yeah, right. Now we're doing full fat pizza tonight. I did get back on the bike this morning, so I earned it. No, I mean, it's as far as moving forward, I think that you guys are on an awesome path, man. Like, how can I help you? I mean, if there's anything, I know that this podcast that we do is huge for me. It's a therapy session just with people that both you guys like are. We've all been through this together, and you guys are on, round 2 or 3, whatever it might be. But it seems like you're both mentally so positive and dedicated to this. I mean, I would say that I'd love to be more of a resource for you guys. I know I get on rants and I talk and I monopolize time and I cut Luke off a lot and copy his glasses. But I mean, you know, anything I mean, I can share with you guys, it's great. But I mean, as far as back to the topic, what's new and easy for me, I think new and easy is just staying on the path. For me, exercise and doing a thing. I'm really curious now that my eyes done this weird thing what my doctor's going to say. I'm scheduling my physical tomorrow for later this week or early next week. One of my other friends as an optometrist is like, dude, you need to do a full glucose screen because I was pre-diabetic. Now I'm not. Maybe your body's doing some funky stuff now. It's been a year and a half. So it should be interesting, to say the least. But I'll stop rambling because I'm going subject to subject and my brain's all over the place. So
Yep. You have anything else you want to add real quick, Luke?
No, I'm good. I think we didn't say it all, but I think we did good.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share this wherever you want. As far as benefits of this channel, I think this is it right here. Having a community that is willing to listen and talk and share things with. You can catch us on our Facebook page, Trimming the Fat. Ask any questions you want. If you want a topic brought up, leave it in the comments. Leave a comment over there. If you want to have a one-on-one discussion, you can do that and we can message back and forth. Whatever you guys want. We've experienced a little bit and we know what failure is. We also know what success is and we know how to be there for you guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you watching, appreciate you taking time out of your day. So have yourself a wonderful day.
see you next week.
All right.